Hey, it's good to have you back. Episode 48, Good Vibrations. Wasn't just a song, it was a life strategy. I was walking, not really present, just walking on autopilot. We've all done that kind of walk, sometime, where your body is moving, but your mind is somewhere else entirely. Thinking about what's next, questioning if you're doing enough, quietly carrying that low hum of something's not quite right. And then I heard it. Just a single line, floating out of nowhere from a passing car. I'm picking up good vibrations, the song by the Beach Boys. And it was strange, because nothing in my life changed in that moment. But I did, instantly. It's happened to you before too, right? Maybe with a different song, I'll give you that. The thing is, in that instant, my chest felt lighter. My thoughts softened. That quiet tension I didn't even realize I was holding just loosened. All from one line. And I kept thinking about that afterward. How something so small, so simple, could shift how everything felt. Because we spend so much time trying to fix our lives from the outside, especially when you're navigating a career pivot, or trying to figure things out in this confusing landscape of Gen Z work and multi-generational work stuff, or searching for some clear sense of finding purpose. We look for big answers, plans, strategies, certainty. But that moment reminded me of something different, something quieter. That sometimes you don't need a new plan, you just need a new feeling. Here's my take on it. I reckon the Beach Boys were onto something. And I don't even think they were trying to be philosophical about it either. Anyways, but good vibrations. They do exactly that. They shift you. And when you shift, everything else starts to follow. Because your life isn't just shaped by what you do, it's shaped by the state you're in while you're doing it. Think about it. There are moments where you feel open, grounded, even slightly hopeful. And suddenly, conversations flow easier. Ideas come quicker. Things feel possible. And then there are moments where you feel tense, doubtful, disconnected, and everything feels harder than it should. Same world, different vibration. That one line, I'm picking up good vibrations. It didn't solve anything in my life, but it reminded me that I have some influence over the frequency I'm moving through it with. And that matters more than we think. Because good vibrations, they don't just feel nice. They attract what's good for you, not in some exaggerated overnight transformation way, but in a quiet, consistent way. 'Cause when you feel lighter, you notice different things. You respond differently. You choose differently. You might send the message you were overthinking. You might say yes to something that feels aligned. You might let go of something that's been draining you. And those small shifts, they compound. This is something I wish more people talked about, because we've been taught to override how we feel, to push through, to stay productive, to keep going, even when something feels off. But what if that off feeling is in fact guidance? What if it's not telling you that you're failing, but that you're slightly out of tune? And what if the goal isn't to force your way forward, but to gently adjust your frequency? Not perfectly, not all at once, just enough to feel a little more like yourself again. That's what that moment gave me. Not answers, just a shift, a reset, a reminder that I didn't have to stay stuck in that heavier state. And maybe that's more powerful than we realize. So today, instead of asking, what should I be doing with my life? Maybe try asking something softer. What helps me feel a little lighter right now? Because from that place, clarity tends to come easier. Decisions feel less forced, and your path starts to reveal itself in a way that feels natural, not pressured. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Sometimes it's just a song, a walk, a moment of pause. Sometimes it's just one line, floating through the air at the exact moment you needed it. I'm picking up good vibrations. And maybe that's your reminder too. To notice what lifts you, to follow what softens you, to trust what feels quietly right, because those are your signals, your alignment, your way forward. You're listening to Pivot Era Podcast, a space for navigating growth, identity, and the subtle shifts that shape who we're becoming. And before you go, here's something to carry with you. What if the smallest shift in how you feel is the beginning of everything changing? That's powerful, and let's all just think about that for one small minute. This is an AI voice-powered podcast shared by humans who simply want to connect across generations and normalize the art of starting again. New episodes drop weekly. Share it with someone who's navigating their own pivot or who needs to hear that beginnings aren't failures, they're growth.